Today is Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020. And I think if we want to take a roll call to see who's present, I am Marla Smolowitz, Chairman of the Board.
Roger Bennett.
This is Gary Allen, District 1.
Ben Wong, District 2.
Okay. Today before us, we have a motion by the EQCB to notify changes to the agenda, rearrange the order of the agenda, and provide an opportunity for any member of the EQCB or staff to request an item to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. You want me to read the public communications, Les? Or go to, I don't have the names of who's there, so would somebody from the city like to interview the people who are going to explain the project to us?
Madam Chair, maybe it'd be best to have, when you're ready for the item, because I believe the people that are on the call are actually the applicant's representatives, maybe to have Senior Planner Fowler provide his report and then leave it open for those two to provide comments and any presentation they may have this evening.
Perfect. Let's move forward in that way, please. So would that be Steve Fowler will present that?
Yes.
Steve, could you please present the agenda item?
Good evening, Madam Chair and fellow board members. This is Steve Fowler, Senior Planner. Tonight we're looking at an initial study and mitigated negative declaration for a CUP for a gas plant at the Hellman Ranch properties. Next slide, please. Or can we have the slide up, Les?
I'm sorry, Steve, I do not have the slideshow. We didn't get that worked out with Gloria. Let's see here. I can try and share it.
Yeah, if you have it on your computer, you can hit the share button and it should pop up for all of us.
Just 1 second here. My apologies. We'll have that in just a moment.
I'm sorry, in the meantime, this is Jen. Can we backtrack a little bit just to confirm that the agenda was approved so I can have a first and second?
Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I move. Roger Bennett so moves.
And do we have a second?
I second also.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Keep us on our toes. It's been a long time.
It has been for all of us, actually. Les, please let me know if there's something I can help you with.
No,
Or Steve.
It just took as many of you know, the joy of working from home and the remote connections can sometimes take a moment or two.
Les, are you the host on this one?
Yes. So I'm
Okay.
trying to get this set up. How did I just do this? Why is it doing that? Okay. Well, I'm trying to see if I can. Oh, yikes, it's not working. hold on, one more side. It's not going to be, unfortunately, my computer is not
Lost.
here. Let's see. Share screen.
So we're waiting on the PowerPoint?
Oh, yes, yes, we are. And I see the screen, Les. I think we're being successful.
Yep, we can see your screen.
Yep.
No, but it won't let me.
That's the screen that it's sharing.
This is the one?
Yeah, they
Keep
can,
that one, that's good. It's got it in the,
See it okay right now?
yes.
Okay,
you have the green.
yes, got it, okay. I apologize, I can't put it into the full screen mode, but hopefully you can see that okay, and I'll start from the beginning here for Steve. All right. Steve, hopefully that works for you.
That's perfect, Les. Can we go to the next screen? Perfect. On the site currently is a gas facility that is surrounded by the OC Basin to the north, the San Gabriel River to the west, the wetlands to the south, and Heron Point to the east. The entrance of this particular site is down where you see that kind of little Z off of PCH. It's actually a little bit below that. That's where the vehicles enter onto this site to get to the proposed location and the existing oil and gas field. Just to let you know, a gas power plant is a facility designed to clean produced natural gas, a byproduct of oil production. And there's already oil production going on this particular site. To produce what is known as pipeline quality dry natural gas, which is sold locally to Southern California Gas Company. So that's what this particular gas plant does. The waste products during this process will then power a microturbine to generate electricity, which is then used to run the gas plant, with an excess electricity being sold back to the local electrical grid. There is no current gas plant on this particular location. The next slide, please, Les. As you can see in this slide, down at the lower right-hand corner, that's where the existing gas plant is located. It's over on the Navy site. The current site has crude oil tank farm and NGL storage tank farm, with the new gas plant being located in between both of those. The existing gas plant and produce there. One of the byproducts is natural gas liquids. The gas plant. These, the initials for them are NGLs, are currently trucked from the current gas plant to the Navy property to the Navy property, where they are blended with crude oil. The crude oil produced at the Hellman Ranch field is trucked from the site to a local refinery destination. With the new gas plant, the NGLs would no longer need to be trucked to the actually Hellman Ranch field. I was a little bit mistaken. They come from the Navy site to the Hellman Ranch field. They would be blended with the crude on site, and produced oil would continue to be trucked to local refineries. Next slide, please. This is a layout of the new gas plant. It has several components, as you can see. The area will cover, I mean, if you look at it, the scale down there of 20 feet, it's approximately 200 feet by 100 feet, so approximately a half acre. And again, it's located in the middle of this parcel where the existing oil and gas facility is located. Next slide, please. So here we have a layout. On your left-hand side is where the gas plant is proposed. Underneath that slide is what this new gas plant could look like. This is a similar one that's located in Canada, but it's got the similar type of equipment on this particular layout. On the right-hand side is the existing plant that's located on the Navy site. As you can see on the top right photo, there's a big black tower with a arrow over it. That is a tall flare component that is not going to be used in the new layout, as you can see. And the existing layout is kind of spread out on that Navy site. As you can see, the red arrows indicate different components of the existing site. And the red box shows you realistically what you can see of that from Pacific Coast Highway. The new site is definitely much cleaner and smaller. Next slide, please. Now, as you can see in these photos, again, there's the gas plant layout. It's simulated. The top photo is what's existing out at the plant site now. In the red box down at the bottom, that is a simulated photo of what the new equipment will look like. It's not very noticeable, and it can be painted to match the environment out in the open field out there, so it's even less of a visual impairment. That could be a visual mitigation. Next slide, please. This is where the gas plant's located, and these are photos taken from the gas plant outward. So your top right photo is to the north, your bottom left photo is to the south, and then your top left is to the west, and your bottom right is to the east. There's nothing that's really close to this site due to the fact of the basin and the wetlands that are all around this particular location. Next slide, please. As you've seen in the mitigation portion of this initial study, there are several different areas that we looked at, and there's these categories in the initial study. Most of them are no impact or lesser than significant impact. These particular categories are where they are less than significant with mitigation. So the mitigation for some of these, such as the aesthetics is due to the fact that there is some lighting out there, and that it could produce some type of glare. So as part of the mitigation measures for this particular aspect, we're asking that they give us a light plan and include some shielding downward so that it will be compliant, and we will lessen any type of glare that would be generated from this particular location. The mitigation for air qualities, they're typical, and I say it's typical because with almost anything that we do an initial study for, or even if we have some type of construction going on, we give them certain mitigation measures or conditions that they have to abide by during the construction phase to adequately deal with air quality, such as not letting their equipment idle for too long, keeping dust down so that it doesn't float and get into the nearby residences or anywhere else. The cultural resource mitigation is due to the fact that the site has produced artifacts in the past. So an archaeological monitoring and unanticipated discovery treatment plan will be required to be submitted and approved prior to grading. And a Native American monitor shall be present during all ground disturbance activities. We did receive one correspondence letter today from one of the tribes asking that we have a monitor on site. That is one of the mitigation measures that we're already looking at. The geology and soils, hydrology, water quality, and noise are also all standard mitigation measures during construction. These types of reports are typically submitted prior to any type of construction and are standard for all new construction. And in an open area like this, a fire protection plan is definitely a must. The noise regulations for construction are normal. I mean, if anybody's doing construction in your neighborhoods, they have certain hours of operation that they construct in certain days of the week that they are restricted, like including holidays. So those are certain things that we would definitely keep in this, and these are part of the mitigation measures that they've incorporated. They've also added one that prior to construction activities, notice shall be provided to the surrounding residents regarding anticipated construction activity, dates and times when substantial noise generating activities are anticipated. That's not something that we do for all construction sites, but this is a mitigation since it is adjacent to residential sites, and this is something that's out in the open that is a mitigation measure for this particular project. Next slide, please. Well, we also received another comment from another resident, and they kind of went through looking at our different mitigation measures. And we've pretty much covered everything that they had asked for us to do. With that, that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions, and the consultant, or actually the applicant, Devin Shea, is also here to answer any of your questions.
Hi, this is Marla. I wanted to give each board member a chance to ask a question, so we could go. Roger, do you have any questions for Steve or the representative, Devin Shea?
Mhm.
Roger, can you hear me?
Oh, Roger's on mute.
Roger's on
Roger,
mute.
you're on mute.
Okay, is that better?
Got it.
Unmute?
Okay, I'm
Okay.
going to start with you, Roger. I want to give each board member an opportunity if they have any questions for Devin Shea, the representative, on the
Okay.
question.
Okay, Marla made some notes here, so I'm going to read the first question. Is the proposed gas plant a new use on the property, or is there a smaller version of of this project currently on the premises?
Hello everyone, this is Devin Shea. I'm with Hellman Properties. To answer your question, this is a new facility on our property. Currently, all of our gas is transported over to the facility on the lease in Alamitos Bay, which is the Navy lands.
Thank you. Roger, do you have additional questions?
What actually is a gas power plant?
So Roger, you're just going to ask all the questions? Go for it.
That's okay. I believe Steve covered this a little bit. So a gas power plant is a facility that produces gas. Every oil lease as a natural byproduct is natural gas, and it needs to be cleaned in order to be sold to SoCalGas. So the gas will be cleaned, sold to SoCalGas locally, and the byproduct, which is what's new in this design, will then be run into a microturbine to generate electricity, which will be used to power our facility and anything that is not used and will be sent back to Edison. And I do want to make one correction. We actually will not be compensated for that. That's just the agreement we've agreed with Edison, is anything that we don't need will automatically just go back to them in the system.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ben, do you have any questions? Ben?
Yes,
can you
hi.
hear- Hi.
Yes, this is Ben from District 2. For the, we read about this, the outside consultant that was hired, MRS Environmental, and then how much are they being paid and who's paying for the consulting?
I don't have the exact figures for you, but Hellman Properties did pay for the study.
Okay, and then the site itself, is it, did I read this correctly? It'll be about 16,000 square feet?
I know it's about a half a acre. John, do you have square feet?
This is John Pearson. I'm with MRS Environmental. I don't have the square feet, but I can get it for you. It's in the document. So let me just, go on with other questions. I'll chime back in.
Thank
Sure.
you, John.
Once when, I guess if everything went forward, when would you guys break ground and when is it forecasted to, when would the construction be completed? How long of a duration would it be?
So we're in, obviously after the city of Seal Beach, and provided we get a permit, we then go through the coastal commission process. I don't know how long that will take, quite honestly. That's a little bit, timelines are obviously much different post-COVID, pre-COVID. But once we do get approval, if we get approval from the coastal commission, it'll be about 5 to 6 months for construction anticipated.
6 months. Okay. And then for the way Hellman Properties operates now, for this proposed gas plant, are the hours of operation anything different, or is it going to be running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
So our facility is a 24/7 facility. We are also, though, staffed 24/7 so someone is always on site monitoring what's going on there. So there would be no change there.
Okay. And I think that basically is it that I have. But circling back again, it was the consulting question about how much was being paid out.
Yes, I can
And
look
then-
that up. I'd have to get that back to Steve if that's okay. I don't have access to my financial system right now.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ben. And our last member, Gary Allen, our new member, do you have any questions on the negative mitigated neg deck for this project?
Yes. What version of sound plan was used to model the noise impacts?
John, I'll hand this one off to you for the noise study.
Yeah, this is John Pearson with MRS Environmental. I don't know the exact version number, but we update it whenever they come out with an update. So it would have been the most recent version that was available at the time this study was done.
Okay. The person who did the modeling with sound plan, what are his qualifications?
He is a mechanical engineer with a specialty in noise modeling. He also does a lot of risk modeling, but it's, he is a mechanical engineer looking and with a specialty in equipment noise. He's done a lot of work in noise and refineries, other oil and gas projects.
I see. Okay. Well, that's an area that I was involved in quite a bit during my working career. So in reviewing the information that's provided in the technical report, it looks like the noise impact is really de minimis. It's not much of an impact. I mean, I'm not even sure I would call it an impact because it's so small. So I think from that standpoint, the mitigation measure that's been proposed to just give notice to the surrounding residential areas is a good one. In aircraft, airport noise, that's one of the mitigation measures that we use quite often. So I support that.
The one thing we were actually very fortunate to have is we were able to actually get some baseline noise measurements for almost all of the exact equipment. We had baseline noise, as you saw in the report, we had baseline noise measurements for the turbines on all different sides. We were able to get actually noise measurements for the PSA vessels, which are some of the louder of the equipment, as well
Yeah,
as
I
the
did.
compressors.
Yeah.
So we were actually really lucky to be able to have real world data to begin with.
I saw that. And I commend that. And SoundPlan, is a very good noise model. It's been used for a number of years. So I'm satisfied personally with the noise study and the noise impacts that are shown. Air quality, pretty much the same there. I think the mitigation measure that's been proposed is certainly adequate to handle the construction phase. So that's really all I have, Marla.
Thank you very much, Gary. I want to first thank Steve Fowler for the great explanation about the power plant, because I read through the whole mitigated neg deck and I really wasn't sure what a gas plant did. And I think anytime we can get clean energy, that's absolutely a good thing. The fact that we're going to have less trucks coming into the area and everything's going out by pipeline, I see also as a good thing using the existing pipeline. My areas of concern, and when I understand we can meet, is on page 37, the one area that did have to be mitigated was measure HM1, which had to do with wildfire. And the potential that, well, let me first back up. It mentions that the approval, we give if we send a letter of recommendation, obviously the issues dealing with fire go to the fire chief for Seal Beach, but Seal Beach doesn't have a fire chief because we contract out with the Orange County Fire Authority. So I did ask and I was told we can change that language. I want to make sure that the plan for fire suppression is approved by the Orange County Fire Marshal. We want someone who understands that above Gum Grove, there are homes. It did call out that if there was an accident, that Gum Grove was identified as an area that could be at risk of wildfire because the eucalyptus trees could catch on fire. And I guess because of all the fires going on everywhere, that really struck me and concerned me. I want to make sure that that is pointed out somewhere. I know it's not our purview. I know we don't have control over it, but that we maybe as a committee would agree that if the fire marshal concurs that they need a fire suppression system installed at Gum Grove, that be done at the expense of the project and not at the expense of the city of Seal Beach to protect Gum Grove. Because if the eucalyptus trees catch on fire, my concern is that the homes above Gum Grove would catch on fire. So if someone, either Devin or John, would like to respond to that, I would be happy to hear what you have to say.
So yes, this is Devin, and I completely agree. I think this is a topic that should, is really high in the news right now and should be addressed. One of the things I do want to point out, though, the only part where we are adjacent to Gum Grove is actually right off of Seal Beach Boulevard at their parking. Between us and Gum Grove is actually LCWA wetlands. And so I think every year we deal with the fire authority. They're on our site regularly because the main issue, and we do get the phone calls from Gum Grove residents at our site, is the wetlands vegetation. It's quite high and it's dry. So I do think that is something we'll have to take a look at. And when the fire authority comes out, we definitely will address. But I think Haman's viewpoint is if anything were to happen on our site, we want to stop it at our site. So there's an adequate fire suppression on our site, so it doesn't even leave our location. And therefore it doesn't get near any residents.
Understood. It was taken from your own report that if there was an accident, that was where it could go. If you turn to page 37 of the report, it's in your report that says it could go to Gum Grove if there's an accident and burn the eucalyptus trees.
I'm pulling it up right now.
So that can, just with all the fires going on, I thought, well, if we know that this potentially could happen, maybe we should get some extra fire, whatever it is that the fire marshal determines is the proper fire suppression system, that might need to be installed at Gum Grove. I
And
don't
we will
know.
work-
I'm not a
Yeah.
person.
I know, and I'm not. We will work with the fire authority when we do, make sure that our plan meets anything that they expect.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Do we have any other questions or comments?
No, but I can, this is John Pearson. It's the question on square footage, it's 16,280 square feet.
Thank you.
And Ben, I will get the cost over to Steve in the morning so he can provide that information with you for the cost of ours.
Thank you, Deb.
You're welcome.
Okay, I feel very comfortable with the project, given those two caveats that we mentioned. One, that we make sure that they mention it is the Orange County Fire Authority, because the city of Seal Beach does not have a fire chief. And I would make a motion to accept the Hellman Ranch Gas Plants Project's initial draft, mitigated neck deck, and move it on to the Planning Commission. Anytime we get clean gas, I think it's a good thing, unless trucks in the area. Do we have a second?
I second.
Seconded. Gary Allen seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, board members. I know it's been quite some time since we've met. I want to thank you guys for all your hard work this evening. We'll probably have another one coming up soon
Wow.
because we do have another project that has an initial study. It's for the gas station at 490 PCH, where the old gas station was located, and they have some remediation. So that one will be coming through soon.
Is that the one by Leisure World?
No,
This
No?
one's right across the street, right off of PCH and
Marina or Fourth?
fifth.
it's 5th Street, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Sounds like fun.
Okay. Does staff have any concerns to bring up?
None at this time. We're working through this process of COVID and all these board meetings. So we're trying to do our best to get you guys everything we can as quick as possible. This one was kind of a test run, fortunately or unfortunately, and it ran quite well due to the fact that we have a good applicant that did all their research and did quite well on their work. So we'll be moving this forward. It'll probably go, because the end of this review period is October 12th. So we have to have some time to answer comments. So it'll go to one of the meetings in November to the Planning Commission. And other than that, thank you guys.
Thank you. And are there any board
you.
concerns? Any board concerns before we adjourn?
No concern.
No.
Board- Okay, then if staff concurs, I say we adjourn the Environmental Quality Control Board meeting of Wednesday, October, today's not the 28th, the 23rd.
September 22nd.
At 6 p.m. My agenda says the 28th.
September 23rd.
Every day's the same.
October.
And that's the truth.
All right, I think we are done.
Okay. Nice seeing all you guys.
All right, take care.
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you and stay safe.
Be safe. Be
You
safe.
too. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Goodbye.